All right, today we're doing a full deep dive review on one of the most popular tools for global entrepreneurs, the US LLC. It gets hyped up as the ultimate solution for digital nomads, but does it actually deliver? We're going to treat it just like a new gadget and find out. Okay, first things first, what exactly is a US LLC? And maybe more importantly, what's the big problem that it's supposed to solve for someone who's not even based in the US? Let's break it down. At its heart, a US LLC is basically a legal shield. It draws a line in the sand between your personal stuff, your house, your savings, and your business. So if the business gets into trouble, you're protected. And here's the magic part for nomads. You can own one 100% without being a US citizen or even setting foot in the country. So why bother with all the paperwork? Well, it all comes down to access. A US LLC is like a key that can unlock US banking with services like Mercury and Wise. It gets you onto payment platforms like Stripe and PayPal, which can be a total nightmare to access from other countries. Plus, it just makes you look legit when you're invoicing US clients in dollars. This video contains affiliate links. Before we dive into the best tax strategies and remote work setups, let's talk about the foundation. You absolutely cannot run a secure, location-independent business without a properly structured business entity. Most digital nomads try to travel the world as a sole proprietor, running international client payments straight through their personal checking accounts. And that's exactly why they get hit with massive self-employment taxes or have their bank accounts frozen while abroad. No matter what time zone you are logging in from, your operation needs to be a legitimate, separate legal entity back home. That's where Busy comes in. Busy is the absolute best service out there for remote entrepreneurs because they handle your entire LLC formation entirely online for just $0 plus state fees. They take care of the heavy lifting for you, so you don't have to deal with physical paperwork, filing your articles of organization, providing a reliable registered agent service to handle your official state mail while you are traveling, securing your EIN, which you absolutely need to open a US business bank account from anywhere in the world, and setting up your compliance alerts. They give you everything you need to establish that ironclad legal separation between your personal travel funds and your business income. This is non-negotiable if you want to protect your wealth, minimize your tax liability, and travel freely without stressing over legal paperwork. I've put a special link in the description below. Use my link to get your Digital Nomad LLC set up right through Busy today and unlock some exclusive discounts and perks. Get that legal foundation handled first, and then let's get back to building your global business. All right, let's pop the hood and see how this thing is built. How do you actually get one set up? Think of this as the unboxing and setup guide, where we walk through the specs and all the steps you gotta take. Your first big decision is picking a state, and this really matters. For digital nomads, Wyoming and New Mexico are almost always the top contenders. They're cheap and they offer fantastic privacy. You'll hear about Delaware a lot, but that's really the playground for big startups who want to raise money. Nevada offers great privacy too, but it comes with a much steeper price tag. So you're basically weighing cost against privacy. So the process itself is pretty straightforward on paper. First, you pick your state and a name for your company. Step 3, you have to hire what's called a registered agent. That's non-negotiable. Then you file the official paperwork, get your tax ID number, which is called an EIN from the IRS, and then you face the final boss, opening a US bank account. Now, you can't really do this all by yourself from another country. You're gonna need a couple of essential services. The first is that registered agent we just mentioned. Think of them as your legal point of contact in the US. That'll run you about $50 to $150 a year. The second is a virtual mailbox for all your regular non-legal mail, which is usually around $10 a month. Okay, so you followed the instructions. The LLC is officially formed. Great. But how does it actually perform when it matters? This brings us to the most critical stress test for any nomad's business. Can you actually get a bank account? Because honestly, this is where things often fall apart. And you don't have to take my word for it. Here's a quote from a fellow nomad. "The real headache was banking." It's so true. A lot of the content you see online makes it sound so simple, but the reality on the ground has changed a lot. Banks are getting really tricky. And here's the problem in a nutshell. Banks and payment processors have totally cracked down. They're not just taking your word for it anymore. They now demand proof of a physical US address. And we're talking about a lease agreement or utility bill. Those cheap, standard virtual mailboxes that everyone used to use, they're getting flagged and rejected left and right. So let's look at the difference here. On the left, you have the old school virtual mailbox. It's often just a PO box. It gets flagged instantly, and you can't get any proof documents. On the right is the new gold standard, what banks actually want, a real office address with its own suite number that comes with a real lease agreement you can show them. This is the new cost of doing business. So, keeping that huge banking hurdle in mind, let's step back for a minute and give this thing a proper scorecard. We're going to list out all the pros of a US LLC right next to the pretty significant cons and compliance headaches. So on the pro side, the list is pretty impressive. You get that powerful asset protection we talked about, you get instant credibility with American clients, you get access to the US financial world. The setup is relatively quick and easy, and in states like Wyoming, you get great privacy. And the big one, the potential to pay 0 US federal tax, but only if your income isn't from US sources. But then we get to the cons, and they are serious. That banking problem is, without a doubt, number one. But then you have mandatory annual filings with the IRS, even if you made $0. You've got ongoing costs for state reports and your agent. And let's not forget, having a US LLC does not magically erase your tax obligations back in your home country. That's a huge misconception. And I really want to hammer this point home because it's the one people get wrong all the time, and it's dangerous. If it's just you owning the LLC as a non-US resident, you are required by law, I repeat, required, to file Form 5472 and a Pro Forma 1120 with the IRS every single year. The penalties for not doing this are massive. It is absolutely not optional. So, after weighing all of that, the really great features against the pretty heavy compliance burdens, what's our final verdict on this thing? Who is this product actually for? A US LLC is a fantastic tool for a very specific type of person. We're talking about freelancers, online consultants, coaches, designers, basically anyone providing a service remotely and billing clients in different countries. For that crew, the access and credibility you get is often totally worth the hassle. But, and this is a big but, it is not for everyone. If you're a startup hoping to get VC funding, you're going to need a C Corp. Investors just prefer them. And if you're running an e-commerce brand that sells and ships physical products to American customers, that's a whole different ballgame that can create US tax obligations. A C Corp might be better there too. So, what's our final thought? The US LLC is, without a doubt, a powerful tool. It can solve very real problems with payments and credibility. But it's not a simple set-it-and-forget-it solution. It comes with a serious, ongoing compliance burden. So the real question you have to ask yourself is that heavy price of admission worth it for what you're trying to do?